Hello, my beautiful sisters. Welcome to another episode at Minding Her Business podcast. I'm your show host and coach, Jaslyn Martin, and I empower women to read, feed their souls, and succeed in business. There is a trick that only women can really harness to its full capability that will allow you to increase your energy, your impact on this world, your abundance. Everything that you can possibly imagine can be given with this one thing. And that one thing is cyclical living. What is cyclical living? There's linear living and there's cyclical living. Men in general tend to live in a linear style. They think everything is on this one line, this one timeline. Cyclical living is imagining everything being in a circle, the circle of life, right? If we want to go Lion King style in here. Cyclical living is realizing that everything is connected and one. It's all about oneness, right? And it's realizing that even our menstrual cycle, our moon cycles, day and night, all these things, and even the seasons, they all come back and forth. It's realizing that winter, spring, summer, and fall will always be there. It's realizing that our menstruation, our pre-ovulation, our ovulation, our pre-menstruation will always be there. It's realizing that the moon cycles, we have 8 moon cycles, and they will always be there. The new moon, the waxing, the full moon, and the waning. And when you can use all these things to your advantage, nothing can stop you. You're going to have success. You're going to have abundance. It's amazing the things that you can create. Stress comes from living in a linear lifestyle, thinking that we have to be in this go, go, go mode all day, every day. But when you can get your body and your mind and your spirit connected, you're going to have energy like never before. So here are some things that I like to mention when it comes to cyclical living. I mentioned that women have this more than men. And it's nothing bad for men. Go men. They're great. They're fantastic. But women, we have literally a cyclical clock within us that a lot of women, and I myself am a business and hormone coach, or you can call me a menstrual coach, whatever you want to call it. But I noticed that a lot of women that I just ask them a simple question. What are the 4 cycles of your menstrual cycle? And a lot of them don't know how to answer. They say something like, well, I know I bleed at some point, and I know that I'm like really fertile at some point. Oh, and then there's this thing called PMS. Just a heads up, PMS means that you have a hormonal imbalance. It's not something that's like supposed to be there or normal. It's just a Western society type of eating lifestyle that we've accumulated, but it's not supposed to be there. Now that I said that, don't freak out and be like, oh my God, something's wrong with me. No, don't go to your doctor and start asking for pills or anything like that. There's ways you can handle it, and I'm going to talk about it in the next episode and really go into that. But just a heads up, letting you know it's not normal, and you can listen to the next episode that I'll be talking more about menstrual cycles and really going into, because that's like my thing recently, okay? Now, we do have this menstrual cycle and this moon cycle and all these things. When you can start to learn even just a little bit of it and start to realize that you're gonna react differently whenever you're in these 4 different cycles, when I'm talking about moon cycle or menstrual cycle. And there's a reason that I'm mentioning both, because these 2 are the strongest. When you look at the moon, it's very in tune with the goddess. You know, if you look at Greek mythology, it's aligned with Artemis, and the sun was aligned with Apollo, right? So goddess is really in tune with the moon. When you can get, now this is high-tech stuff here and very spiritual stuff, when you can get your menstruation the first day of your bleed, the same time as the first day of the new moon, you are in some spiritual woo-woo great stuff and atmosphere, because they're very aligned. When you have your menstruation happening the first day of your bleed, and new moon happens during your ovulation, the day that you're most fertile, then that's fine, but you can probably work on it some more and really get more in tune with the moon cycle, more in tune with your own body so they can align. Okay, it's all about alignment in here. Now, I'm going to give you a small sneak peek on the power of your menstrual cycle and why it's important. When we pretend that we are in this linear world, just like men, and even men, by the way, they live in this linear world because they think that's the answer, and it's all nice and dandy and stuff, but long term, it actually causes them a lot of stress and pain, and abundance can take a little longer, actually, at least the abundance that they want. So when you live in a menstrual cycle world, it creates space for you to self-love. It creates space for you to relax, and it creates space for you to go, go, go. And really, when I see women that get in tune with their menstrual cycle and their moon cycle and really go into it, they kind of double or triple what the men are doing. Cough, cough. Now, for those that are listening to this and are like, I don't have a menstrual cycle, that's why I'm mentioning the moon cycle, because the menstrual cycle, when you start getting perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, please focus on the moon cycle. And when you get the new moon, I mentioned this earlier, when you get the new moon, just pretend like it's the first day of your bleed. Okay. When you get to the full moon, pretend like you're in complete fertile and ovulation mode. You may not be actually fertile because you're past menopause, but you still have that superwoman feel to it. Let me explain. New moon / menstruation time period is all about relaxing, looking at big ideas, and it's all about visionary. The menstrual time is it has a lot of divine downloads coming down from you. You're going to have a lot of epiphanies. You're going to have a lot of ideas coming up. So take time to relax and love yourself, and take time to have a journal near you and start writing down ideas when they pop up, because menstruation tends to have a lot of creativity involved, not a lot of doing, but a lot of thinking involved, and good thinking, really, not kidding. And it's the same thing with the new moon. The new moon is all about setting intentions, getting bigger ideas, and figuring out what the next month is going to be like until the next new moon. So notice that they're very similar. They have the same type of atmosphere. Now, for moon, the second one is the waxing crescent, the first quarter, and the waxing gibbous. Now, the waxing is the same thing as the pre-ovulation. And the way that I remember that they're aligned to each other is normally after my bleed, I'll literally go get a wax, right? And I get a bikini wax because I want to go to the beach after I stop bleeding. So think of it like that. You're going to wax it off, and it's pre-ovulation time. Pre-ovulation time is where you're going to initiate the big ideas that you came up with. All those ideas that you started having, you're going to start working on them. You're going to pick one, and you're going to go for it for the entire month until the next time that you bleed or until the next new moon. You're going to start to go, go, go. You're going to have low energy in the beginning, and it's going to get higher and higher and higher the closer that you get to ovulation or the full moon. Now, ovulation is you are literally superwoman. You can surpass any man at this point. Just a heads up. Now, men might kill me for saying that, but if you really see this happen, it's truth. And I'm sure a lot of people know, but like a mother and a kid is in danger, their kid is in danger, that mother will have like freaking super strength. So think of it like that. You can get anything done. You're in go, go, go mode. Nothing is going to stop you when you're in ovulation mode. Literally, you're on top of the world here, right? The same thing in the full moon. The full moon is also a really good time for you to relook at your goals and see what's missing, what's not working, what is working, and to realign with that so that you can finish up strong in the pre-menstruation or the waning, right? Or the waning time period. So pre-menstruation, you start getting from high energy, and you're going to start getting back to low energy and heading back towards menstruation. You're going to start going more inner. You want to start doing some more self-love work versus more business work. And you want to handle the things that are overdue, or those like you want to make sure that you're completing things and managing your energy correctly. Okay. Now, we still have this fire going on within us, so please use it. But take time to also relax and more, stop work at a specific time versus, going off all day on working. Take time for you and start realizing that menstruation is coming. and finish whatever project that you have so that when you are menstruating, you can take that time off. Okay. So it's the same thing when you're in the waning gibbous and waning crescent and third quarter. You're getting ready again for the new moon. You're finishing what you're completing, and you're going to start again in the new moon or when you're menstruating with a new goal. So notice that when you're in your menstrual cycle or with the moon cycle or in cycles in general, what tends to happen is that you're creating space for every area of your ideas, every area of everything, right? And when the next episode 22, you're going to be learning more about what kind of foods to eat, what kind of exercises to do, what kind of everything to do during your menstrual cycle so that you can really get in tune with this cyclical living. And you're going to notice that you're going to have more energy, more abundance, more success, more everything, even more love for yourself and for others when you really get in tune with this. So I hope that you've enjoyed this episode, that you've learned a little bit more about the importance of cyclical living versus just being in go, 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 superwoman style all the time, because it's not realistic and it's going to bum you down. And that's where burnout comes from and stress comes from. So when you take the time to really do cyclical living, you're going to see higher results and you're going to feel better and do better. So girl, go get it. And I'll see you soon. Mwah.